welcome back to my channel. I'm eca.fairy and in today's video I am letting you on the best secret Warsaw places that you cannot miss. We're starting the list strong with a really aesthetic combination between nature and industrial vibes, and I'm talking about the University Library Garden. This construction is magnificent on its own, but adding in all the foliage, all the greenery just takes it up a notch so much. The surrounding garden is also really beautiful. We took a walk and we also climbed the rooftop of the building. You can do that by taking some stairs and the view is immaculate. Inside the vibes are really similar, this kind of industrial architecture that is so unique in my opinion, and the fact that anybody can just walk in, and the fact that this is not just a random library but has so much thought put into it. I think this is such a special place. The entrance is free in the main area. There are some coffee shops there and I think some places that you can get snacks from, but I'm pretty sure that you do need a card in order to enter in the book area. Next up, this was probably the cutest museum that I have ever been to. I'm talking about the Dollhouse Museum. And as the name says, you are going to be seeing so many doll houses. And I'm talking vintage ones, handmade ones. Both of them have such an interesting story behind and the detailing is just insane. We spent so much time analyzing them and looking at every single thing that is placed within the scene that makes it so real. And you can see how much imagination the creators of these doll houses had. The thought and the imagination and effort that they put in creating every single detail was just wow to me. I think my favorite one was the bridal shop because it had so many fashion pieces that were so adorable. It also has a really fascinating part where there are dolls from all around the world, you know, traditional dolls depicting folklore attire, depicting certain makeup or certain historical ages, and every single one was so beautifully crafted, so interesting, and I felt like to see so many from so many cultures, which was impressive to me. The entrance in this museum is literally the door to Narnia, and when they first told us that that was the way to enter, I was flabbergasted. I literally thought that was there purely for decoration, but when they said, yeah, this is where you enter, wow, every single detail, as I was saying, is perfectly thought about. And there are also section depicting vintage games and vintage toys, for example furniture or certain board games, and this is probably the prettiest and most aesthetic museum that I have visited, at least in Warsaw. Next up we have the Marie Curie house, which is full of really interesting information on her life, her work. It has really interesting and carefully designed exhibits that really take you into the story. I definitely think this is a must-see because even if you know facts about her life or if you're into science, there's definitely something that you're still going to be able to learn from this sort of place, and I thought it was wow. Also had this really beautiful terrace that oversees the old center of Warsaw. For this next one, you're going to want to put on a pretty outfit and get your camera because we're going to the Saxon Gardens. And this place is so pretty, so majestic and so aesthetic that your Pinterest will be full of the pictures that you take here. Because are you kidding me? The lake, the scenery, flowers, this was not crowded at all. It was a really nice, you know, stroll through a park. It also happened to be really beautiful. Also, when we entered, there was an ice cream cart that served ice cream with local or traditional Polish flavors, and I thought that was really interesting. We tasted them and they were so good. So I definitely recommend, if you see it, get a sweet treat before you walk through the park. The next destination, I really hope I'm not butchering the name, is Chopin Museum. Now obviously, who hasn't heard about his beautiful compositions, but going there in person, visiting the museum is a totally different experience. It has a lot of interactive exhibitions that you can play music to, that you can see the process of creation, you can read about each composition while listening to it. There are like tablets and headphones. Also a lot of visual historical facts about him, his family, close relatives, a lot of people that also contributed to his creational process, that he interacted with, and so on. And I think it is such an informative visit. It also has an area in which live orchestras come and play. Last but not least, this one is the most fun, I promise. I didn't even mention visiting the old town because that was pretty obvious, I would say. However, in the old town you have to definitely go into the Museum of Illusions because this was so fun. There are a lot of mind games, like logical games that you can attempt at least, because we failed. They were so difficult, like almost impossible to complete. At first they seemed more accessible, but then they would get more and more difficult. A lot of optical illusions, a lot of mirrors, light illusions, and just so many interesting, fascinating, and some of them scientific things that made us have a really good time, even though our feet were hurting so bad because we had walked the whole day literally. We took really cool pictures and it was overall really filled with laughter and good energy. These were the places that you definitely cannot miss in your next Warsaw visit. However, I do have more places in my mind that I definitely think you should visit. If you're planning a trip there soon, do let me know down in the comment section if you're interested in more tips about visiting Warsaw and the places that I love the most. Don't forget to like this video and I'll see you fairies next time. Have a great time in Warsaw. Bye!